What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. The international break is over and we can get back to talking about Celtic. This is a live starting 11 prediction for tomorrow's game at home against Ross County. And I was really looking forward to getting back talking about Celtic, looking forward to this next block of fixtures before the international break in October. And obviously today we've been presented with another off-the-field situation that we have to talk about, and that Don McKay has stepped down as the chief executive. So I'm just going to run through quickly my reaction to that news before we get to the team and all the usual starting 11 prediction stuff. This is a live format. You can put your comments in the live chat box below. I'll do my best to try and pick out any good ones as I go through, but being the producer, the presenter and the cameraman all at the same time during a live stream is difficult, so bear with me. I think it came as a shock to everyone today that Don McKay has stepped down, the official explanation being for personal reasons. I think first of all you have to say that if there is anything personal with Don McKay or his family or anything like that, we would hope that that was all well, but I think you don't have to read too much in between the lines to see that when a chief executive comes in and he's the chosen guy to take the club forward, and after just 3 months of being in the post full time, there's been some sort of breakdown that's led to him leaving. A lot of speculation and a lot of rumours today, a lot of questions, not a whole lot of answers or any answers at all really. Everyone talking about Dermot Desmond and his comments during the summer about being personally involved in the transfer dealings, and a lot of speculation and narrative about was it interference from people above him and people undermining Don McKay and maybe wanting to hold back the modernisation that Don McKay spent a lot of time talking about since he came into the club. There's a lot of things here that we'll just never find out. We'll just never know exactly what went wrong here, and why he's had to leave like so soon after taking up the post. I don't think there's any doubt that this is a mess for the club, regardless of what the reasons are for it. It puts the club in a mess. We had this big talk about the rebuild and restructure, and a couple of weeks ago we're talking about bringing in a director of football once the transfer window closes, and now we're back to interim CEO. We don't really know who's going to be the long-term CEO. It might be Michael Nicholson eventually, although he's only been given it interim at the moment. A lot of uncertainty, as I say, a lot of questions, but a lot of questions that I think we'll just never really get answers to. The only thing that I want to take away for Don McKay leaving is that I hope the club continue with trying to change things, trying to modernise certain things. If Don McKay wasn't the right person to do that for whatever reason, or something caused it to break down, I hope that the intention is still there to modernise the club, to be more open with supporters, and to communicate better, because I think that above everything else is the most important thing. And on the pitch, the most important thing is winning football matches, and I think if we can continue to do that, I say continue to do that, I know we lost our last football match, but I think if the team can continue to play the football we've been playing, and we win a lot, then talk about all the off the field stuff will die down. If there's anything wrong on the field, the off the field stuff just gets amplified. We've seen that a million times before. So a lot of questions, not a lot of answers, but we'll get into talking about the football. We're back at Celtic Park tomorrow. Our home form so far this season has been really, really good. I think the team tomorrow is going to have a few changes in it, maybe a couple of debuts as well. We'll start in goals, as we always do. I think it will be Joe Hart, no surprises there. At right back, I expect Anthony Ralston to keep his place. Juranovic obviously came in at Ibrox, played from the left-hand side. We've obviously got a couple of options in defence now that we didn't have before the window shut, with Cameron Carter-Vickers coming in. Scales is there at left-back as an option now. And obviously we have Ralston and Juranovic at right-back. So good to have a bit more depth than what we've had so far this season. But I think tomorrow Ralston will get the nod at right-back. Centre-half, I expect that combination of Welsh and Starfelt to continue. Again, I know a lot of people have got question marks about Starfelt. We might want to see Carter-Vickers come in. I just don't think it's maybe a wee bit early. He's joined the club, maybe done a bit of training over the international break, but I don't think he's going to get thrown in. We've got a big game, obviously, during the week coming up away to the Albitis, so I think as I've said before this season, we want to get continuity in that back four, that back five. We don't want to be in a situation where we constantly chop and change the centre-half pairing or the goalkeeper for that matter. At left-back tomorrow, I don't know if Greg Taylor's fit or not. I don't know if that was covered in today's press conference, but I'm going to go with Juranovic on that side. Again, he did go away with Croatia, I believe, but I just think Scales might not be ready. Yet to see Liam Scales, obviously, as a player. Seen a couple of clips and stuff from his time over in Ireland, but I don't think he's ready to get thrown in yet. I think it'll be Juranovic at left back. That will complete the back five. In midfield, it'll be Callum McGregor. In front of him, the weakest part of the squad is midfield, without a shadow of a doubt. The only real credible first team options we have there are Tom Rogic and David Turnbull. I know we have Sorrow and we have James McCarthy. The manager saying today that James McCarthy's back in contention and has trained, but McCarthy's a 6, Sorrow's a 6. Maybe we could put McGregor into one of the 8 positions, and then you bring in a McCarthy or a Sorrow. But that is the weakest part of the squad, no doubt about that. I think if we get an injury to Callum McGregor, for example, we'd be really, really struggling in that area of the pitch. So that is a big concern. On the right-hand side, I think it'll be Leo Abada. Again, you think back to his performance at Ibrox, on the periphery of the game for the most part, but particularly these home games so far, he's really, really impressed. So hopefully he can go back to that sort of form, pick up where he left off in terms of his Celtic Park form. And on the left-hand side, I think we'll see a Celtic debut for Felipe Jota. Looks a good player. Obviously came through Benfica's youth academy. They've produced some wonderful players over the years. A little bit lost, I think, since Benfica brought in Everton Suarez, but by all accounts, he looks like he could be a good player. I enjoyed his press conference the other day. Martin attended it for us. I watched it back. You can see that he's happy, smiling, wants to entertain, wants to drive at defenders, wants to bring improvisation into his game. My English nearly as bad as his there. I think he's going to add a real different dimension on the left-hand side, because again, that is probably another area for us. Christie's gone. We've only really got Jota and Johnson, who naturally play from the left-hand side. I know we can switch Abada over there, we can switch Forrest over there, but I don't think that gets the best out of them at all. So I think we're going to be asking a lot from Jota this season. I think if he comes in and performs, he's going to be the number one choice on the left-hand side, and he could play 40, 50 games provided he performs, because I think he becomes the natural number one choice in that position. I know he can play in different positions, but I think that's where he's best suited, and we can't really rely on Mikey Johnson because he's been injured so often. Up top, obviously the big news is that Kyogo Furuhashi got injured playing for Japan. He's going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks, probably miss 7 games. That's this block of fixtures between September and October's international break. There is some big games in there. Betis away in the Europa League stands out. Leverkusen at home. We've got to go to Aberdeen away right before the next international break. And Kyogo is going to be a huge, huge miss for us. You see the different dimension he adds to the attacking play, his intelligence, his movement, the intensity that he plays at. I don't think we've got any other player anywhere in the pitch, let alone up front, who can match that intensity and the movement. And when you play against top teams in Europe, you're going to have to ask them questions, and I don't know if we've got another striker who can come in and do that in the same manner that having Furuhashi available would. Giacomakis I don't think is going to be ready. I don't think he had a full pre-season at all. The manager said today that he's not quite up to speed yet, so I don't expect to see him start tomorrow. And that means the only first team striker really that we have left is Albion Ajeti, so it's a big chance for Ajeti. Shrewd deduction, by the way. I know he's on the match day programme tomorrow, so if that doesn't tell you he's playing, nothing does. I say he's only option. If Giacomakis isn't ready, Kyogo's injured, a great chance for him. A lot of doubt about Albion Ajeti and whether he can really be a proper Celtic striker. We've seen glimpses of quality from him last season. He looks like a penalty box finisher. I know he came on and set up the 6th goal in that win against, I think it was Dundee a few weeks ago, St Mirren even. And he did look like he was showing a bit of tenacity. He was pressing, he was doing what the manager wanted, but that was in a 5-10 minute sub appearance. This is a big opportunity for him to stake his claim for a place in the team and really grab his chance with both hands, because listen, if he doesn't perform when he is the de facto first choice striker because we've got injuries, then when is he going to perform? There's no excuses this season in terms of COVID and empty stadiums and the sort of chaos that was going on off the field last season. The team are playing well, so if Ajeti can come in and play well, then he can stake his claim. But I think with Giakoumakis coming in, Kyogo's obviously now the number one with Edouard gone to Crystal Palace. So I would say Giakoumakis is second choice and Ajeti's third, and he's got a chance to change that tomorrow and maybe even midweek as well. So he's got to take this chance. That is the team that I think the manager will go with tomorrow. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll have much more reaction to the news regarding Don McKay's departure tomorrow. We'll be speaking to everyone outside the stadium as normal. It's back to a normal match day, back to a sold out Celtic Park. And we'll have the post-match pint as well afterwards, where we can maybe dive in a wee bit deeper and discuss where we think the club is going in the next few months. So that's it for tonight. Join us tomorrow for all of the normal full-time reaction from outside the stadium. Cheers.